Most mornings, Dom quit sleep before sunrise and ventured out. On mornings like the morning after the Sumter Freedom Fest, when Dom's back ached, when stepping outside was like breathing over a boiling saucepan, Dom folded himself into his gray sweats, limped out the door, and gradually increased his pace until his muscles yielded. After a mile, the sweat from Dom's pits and chest had merged into a single blotch creeping down his hoodie. He felt so much heavier than when he'd started running, a completely different kind of heavy than he'd been the previous year. He could lose 5 pounds taking off his sweats, although it would be mostly water. A lie. Running like a high schooler trying to drop a weight class wasn't the healthiest way to log cardio. It was a treat, he told himself. He was allowed to enjoy his new body, to test its limits. With each stride, the length of Dom's sciatic nerve pulsed as if it were trying to rip itself out of him. The jolts were comforting. They made sense. The botched suplex in Sumter had bruised his tailbone, compressed his spine, irritated discs he'd pushed far beyond their recommended service limits. He had an alchemist's regimen of stretches, icing, and salves to treat himself. He wasn't injured. He could run faster. Early Sunday morning, Charlotte was silent. Too early for church, too late for the drunks. Corporate types were high in their towers. Suburbanites were flung far past the Beltway in labyrinthine neighborhoods connected by leafy boulevards. In Dom's part of town, he heard red-eyes landing at Douglas and air conditioners struggling in bedroom windows. Pounding pavement, Dom could see himself at the center of it all, even though the downtown lights were far in the distance. How many of the city's best had he beaten awake? The marathoners, the gym rats, even the pro football players. How many could he put down at their own game? For Dom, the city's morning sounds were far louder than the roar of a capacity crowd. He had more excuses than anyone to stay in bed, to take it easy. Yet he was working. Endorphins flushed out the pain. His second mile split was shorter than his first. When Bonnie Blue had called the previous night, he'd been half asleep in the Civic. It wasn't a conversation. No small talk or negotiation. Bonnie dictated the terms of Pilar's tryout, and he agreed.